तर आता मला एक गोष्ट सांगा, हा डॅशबोर्ड तर आपण बनवलेला आहे, पण याचा फायदा काय आहे आपल्याला? राईट? काय करावं लागेल तुम्हाला? काय करावं लागेल? म्हणजे काय करावं लागेल? आता आपण हा डॅशबोर्ड तर बनवलेला आहे, पण याचं मीनिंग काय? कशासाठी बनवलेला आहे आपण हा डॅशबोर्ड? राईट? म्हणजे तुम्हाला काय करायचंय? हे एक्सप्लेन करायचंय कोणाला? कोणाला एक्सप्लेन करायचंय? तुम्हाला फाईल पाठवली आहे का खाली? हा, तुम्ही बनवली आहे तुमची? ओके. तर आता तुम्हाला काय करायचंय माहिती का? पहिली गोष्ट तर घाबरायचं बिलकुल नाही. ठीक आहे? ओके. पहिली गोष्ट काय करायची? घाबरायचं बिलकुल पण नाही. आणि त्यानंतर आता काय करायचं? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल you have to explain where was your server, otherwise where was your data. It may be available on SQL server, otherwise it may be available on Kaggle, otherwise XYZ. Right? Now from this source we have collected our data and we started the which process? Data ingestion process, data import. Right? Now tell me, after this what we did? Right? And that is known as the which process? EDA. Right? And from this EDA we get to know that we have to convert our columns in the, tell me, in the format of, no, we have converted our month column into year, YY and MM. Right? Now I hope that now you are getting the meaning that why we have to do EDA. Right? If we will if we have to do any changes in our visuals, right, that's for we should first of all do the EDA. Right? And the reason of converting this column YYMM, to tell me why we have converted this column? Why? Because we want the format of the year and month in a slicer visual. Right? Then we got our visual in which format? YY and MM. Right? Now after this, fourth part, We can say that FE, feature engineering. Here, let us assume that uh, while doing feature engineering, we have increased our columns because we don't want to do any changes on our original data of the date, right? That's why we have created the new date column based on our conditions, right? Based on our conditions. Now you have to explain this part in a depth. Why we have created new column and why we are not going to use our old column, because our column was available in the format of the full long date, right? But we have to need our column in specific format of the year and the month, sometime in a days format, something in a quarters format. That's why we have created new columns in the formats of the quarterly, daily, weekly. That's why we have created new columns, and it is a process of the feature engineering. Features means columns. That's why we have created this new columns. Simple. काय अवघड आहे का याच्यामध्ये? सिंपल प्रोजेक्ट आहे. And then we have created the what? Dashboard. Dashboard, right? Now we have to explain this dashboard in a detail. Explain. Now inside the explanation, first of all, you have to tell them the problem. What? Problem statement, right? Problem statement. And then now tell me, what is the problem statement of our dashboard? Hmm? Right, that is the problem statement. But in details, how can you explain that problem? That which problem you have solved? Right. That means right. That means we can say that uh, inside the airlines passengers data, we have to find out some patterns based on the time based, right? From that time based, we have to find out what was the pattern on the previous year, and what was the pattern current year, and what was the pattern on the next year. What are the things making their different, right? So we have to do this type of the analysis, right? That means our problem statement is simple. We have to analyze the passengers data, airline passengers data, right? That is the problem statement. You have to explain this problem statement. Now we have explained our problem statement. Now second step, what we created inside our dashboard. Tell me what we have created in our dashboard. What? Right? First of all, we have created slicer in the format of, tell me, format of YYMM. MM, right? YYMM. Now after this, why we have created this in YYMM? Because we have to analyze passengers data. We have to analyze this passengers data in the time frame of, tell me, in the time frame of YY, yearly and the monthly basis, right? That's why we have converted this one. Now after this, after using functions from functions of, right, or we can say functions based on time intelligence, time intelligence, we have plotted visuals in the format of, tell me, in the format of previous month, passengers. Similarly, after this, current month, passengers, and after this, next month, passengers, right? And then tell me, after plotting this, what we did? Then we compared these three visuals, and then we got some, tell me, we got some patterns there, patterns of increasing, increasing and decreasing, right? Decreasing of passengers, passengers traveling numbers, right? That is the main information. We got some patterns of the increasing and decreasing of the passengers traveling numbers, and similarly then we have applied, similarly then we applied for yearly based, yearly based time frame, something like previous year, current year, and next year. Now here also what we found, here also we found, here also we found patterns of, patterns of increasing and decreasing of passengers, and also found that there are some specific years in which travelers are traveling in huge numbers, right? Right? Now we can add a few more parameters, something like along with this we found out some information, something like based on the month, whenever there is a weekend, their passengers was Tell me, increasing or decreasing? Increasing. You can say that at the time of the Christmas, otherwise in the time frame of the December, otherwise September, otherwise in a January, the travelers are traveling in a huge numbers, right? So we also analyze that data, and also we get to know that here are passengers also traveling in a huge numbers, right? Now tell me, if you are going to explain this thing to your interviewer in a details way, so tell me, he will pick up you or not? तुम्हाला तो घेईल का नाही त्याच्या कंपनीमध्ये? कारण का तुम्ही तुमचा जो काही काम केलेलं आहे ते एकदम डिटेल्स मध्ये असं सांगितलं पाहिजे, राईट? तर आता तुम्हाला काय करायचं आहे, तुम्हाला या सर्व काही गोष्टी एक्सप्लेन करायच्या. काय काय आहेत या एक्सप्लेन करण्यामध्ये? अजून तुम्हाला पाहिजे त्या गोष्टी मनाच्या आवडीने टाका. कोणी बघायला येणार आहे का तिथे की बाबा तू असंच खरं काय केला का? उलट समोरच्याला जेवढी तुमची स्टोरी इंटरेस्टिंग आवडेल तेवढा तुमचा पिक्चर हिट असणार आहे, राईट? तर तुम्ही एक्सप्लेन करू शकाल का? हे करू शकाल का? कारण तुम्हाला हे एक्सप्लेन केल्याशिवाय काही ऑप्शन नाही, आणि मला नाही वाटत की खरंच काहीतरी हार्ड आहे याच्यामध्ये डेटा अनालिसिस मध्ये. कोण करणार एक्सप्लेन मग आता? कोण करणार? त्यामुळे मी काय म्हणलो होता, पहिली गोष्ट तर घाबरायचं बिलकुल नाही, राईट? मला नाही वाटत की याच्यामध्ये काही अवघड असं आहे म्हणून. कारण मला असं वाटतं की तुम्ही स्टोरी टेलिंग मोड मध्ये जर तुम्ही ही गोष्टी लक्षात ठेवलात तर उलट इंटरेस्ट येईल असं वाटतं मला. आणि असं नाही न बघता बघून सांगायचं तुम्हाला. कारण जर तुम्हाला कंपनीमध्ये जाऊन या गोष्टी एक्सप्लेन करायच्या, पहिली गोष्ट तर तुम्ही काय करायचंय, हे तुमच्याकडे रिटर्न फॉर्मॅट मध्ये असलं पाहिजे. स्टोरी मला कसं एक्सप्लेन करायची. आता मी तुम्हाला आयडिया दिलेली आहे, राईट? तर तुमच्याकडे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हे काय असलं पाहिजे, रिटर्न फॉर्मॅट मध्ये असलं पाहिजे. मी कशामुळे तुम्हाला सारखं म्हणतोय की रिटर्न फॉर्मॅट मध्ये पाहिजे, रिटर्न फॉर्मॅट मध्ये पाहिजे. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तुम्ही लिहून घ्या हे सर्व काही, मग त्यानंतर एक्सप्लेन करा. काय पेन नाहीये का? हा, रजत कडून थोडं काहीतरी शिका जरा. तो किती आवडीने काम करतो सगळे. म्हणजे रजतला खरंच मनापासून इच्छा आहे की बाबा मला शिकायचं आहे, काहीतरी करायचं आहे. जरा एक तास बसत जावा त्यासोबत डिस्कस करायला, काय करायचं काय नाही, कसं करायचं चालू आहे. पेन द्यायचं आहे का तुम्हाला? का आहे रजतकडे? आणि जर कळालं नसेल तर परत लेक्चर पहा. फक्त तुला तर कळायला पाहिजे ते. some specific years in which travelers are. झालंय का? हम्म? पीपीटी आहे फक्त, पीडीएफ नाही. केली आहे वाटतं बहुतेक ऑलरेडी. ओके. Okay, now we have to learn some functions based on the also time, right? Now we are going to create a new column based on the dates, right? Now if we have to create a column based on the date, that means if I have to create new column with the today's date, right? Now how to create that one? Simply use new column option, then select column name. Now here simply write down today function. Now we are getting our today's date, right? Now next, now if we have to get the difference of the two dates, between two dates, right? So at that time again we will create a new column. Now here I will write down the name as the date difference is equal to date difference, date difference. Now I have to first of all select my starting date. Now I will select this will be my starting date, air passenger of month. Then I have to select my end date, that is, let us say that let us calculate the difference between that specific to today's date, right? So we will again write down air passenger of today's date column. Now third parameter we have to write down, that is the interval, in which interval you want to get this difference. Now that interval is available in this format. Look at here, I just press the comma for the next value. So it is automatically giving me suggestion from in which interval. Look at here. Now we have to write down interval, third parameter, right? Now in which interval you want to get the difference, right? Now let us take the difference in the yearly format. Complete the bracket. Now look at here, till this 12 it is showing 75 because it is a complete 1 year. Now it is 74, 73. Like this way we have our data, right? Now if we want to change this format to the day, we can change it. Now look at here, this much are the days difference, right? This much are the days difference between these two date, right? Now date add. Now tell me, what will be the date add? Any idea? Hmm? Look at here now, the date add. Date add. Now, what is today's date? 25 of 4 24, right? Now, if I have to add 5 days inside this date, so what will be next date? What? 34 24, right? Now tell me why this is required in our business analyst, otherwise in a data analyst, this dates, right? If we have to apply any strategy, if we have to apply any reminders for that specific dates, it may be, let us imagine that on that day we have to fill our whatever will be ITR. Otherwise, let us assume that on that day specifically we have to target that specific audience, right? So that's why this should be available, right? Now let us do that one, date add. Date add. Date add. Now dates, right? Now what are the my dates? Let us take today's date. Air passenger of today's date, comma, number of intervals. Now how much number of intervals we want? Let us say that 50. And now in which format we want this data? In a day. Mm, there is any issue, something issue there? No, no. Mm, okay. Now number of intervals. Move the given of dates by specific intervals. Mm, no. Mm, mm, I don't think so. Mhm. Let me add one date column here, right? Mm, okay, okay. Now from this date to the till which date I will select air passenger, that number. Mhm. Okay, simply let us do the Google of the which function, date add in Power BI. Example. Look at here. We have the official Microsoft function. Now inside this, first of all, we have to add a dates, right? So we have already added dates. Now number of intervals. Now let us check that. What is this number of examples? Date time. Okay. This is showing in a plus minus, right? But why it is not taking? Let us take in a year format. Plus 1 in year. Mhm. Okay, let us change this column to the air passengers of, no, no, it is having today's date. Air passenger of month. Yeah, now we got our answer. Now, if I will add the one inside this, it is giving me this date, right? Look at here, 1950. Look at here, 12 dates of 1950. Now, if we want to change this to the month, we can get this also in a month. Right now we have added 1 month extra, 1 month extra, right? Now tell me, how we will use in this real time business. ओके ग्रेट, तो प्रोजेक्ट कब खत्म होगा वो हमें पता चलेगा. और if we have some products, something like the seasonal, right? If we have some product based on the seasonal, right? Let us say that we are working in the pharma, right? Now in summer we will focus on that specific products. So we will reminder that we will add that date. At that time we have to do the more advertising of that specific product, right? So we can create a one visual dashboard. Okay. Now this today's date add format. Now this format is very simple. That means if we have to convert our date format that we have already changed by using that column option format, but we can also change it by using function, and there we can write down our format, and in that format we can write down our first date and last date, right? So this is the Power BI, right? Now look at here the very interesting concept of the function, that is the x versus non-x function. And definitely this is going to ask a question in your interview. What are the x functions? What are the non-x functions? Right? Now, what is this saying? That x functions are in a iterator functions. Tell me what is the meaning of iterator, right? That is going to work by row. Look at here. It is working row by row. Now that means whatever functions we are using for the creation of new column, those functions will be known as a x function, and whatever the functions we are going to use for the measure, those will be known as a non-x functions, right? Now look at here, sum x. If we have to add the sum, right? If we have to add the sum data set, and that column 1 into column 2 plus 3. Look at now, let us use this one. Okay, let us use this sum x, new column, and I will write down here sum x. Look at here, whenever I am writing sum, it is giving me two options, sum and sum x. Now first of all, let us understand what is meaning of this sum x. Okay, now here, first of all, I have to define my column, right? Now from that column, what I want to do, I want to do the column into 3 plus 5, right? Now let us say that I have some values inside this column, right? Let us say here is 2. If I will apply some x function and I will create a new column, so here 2 into 3 plus 5, so whatever will be answer, that we will write down here, right? And it is going to work by by row, and that is the sum x functions, right? Sum x. Now inside this sum x, uh, let me open sum x. Now look at here, it is asking for the table, right? Now here, I want to add air passenger of 602, right? Now from there, air passenger of passenger data, okay, air passenger of passenger data available in a numeric format, right? That's why I'm using that one. Now this into 5 and divided by, let us say, 2. Okay, now look at here, we are getting our answer. Now for the first 12 it will be same. Mm, because we are multiplying with 5. But what is that? Okay, okay, now got it. We are doing sum, right? Now whatever will be the sum of all these passengers, so it will do the all the sum of these passengers, and it will multiply all this whatever will be sum into 5 and divided by 2, and that whatever will be value, it will write down here, right? Now if we want to do cross verification, now here we will plot one card. Okay, now let us create one measure, right? Now that measure will be used for sum of air passenger. So simply I have to do the sum of air passenger of passengers column, right? So let us visual it. Okay, so The total number was 40,000, right? 40,000 multiplied by 5 and divided by 2. So that number will be this one, right? But what we are getting there here, we are getting 1,907, right? 1,907. And how much we are getting? We are getting 1 lakh. I think there is little bit issue that we are getting. Mhm. Okay, okay. It is showing in the format of the only total value near around 40. If we will do it if we will change it decimal point, so it will give us answer in a decimal point, right? Now look at here. Uh, okay, so this is the answer, but so show values as mhm, remove fill. Mm, okay, here 40K. Okay, okay, just give me 1 minute. Add it in a slicer here. Category layout. Now display units none. Look at here. This is the value actually, right? If we will do it again, 40,363 into 5 divided by 2. So we got this answer, and we will fill all these values in a new column, right? So if your interview is going to ask you the question based on the sum x and the sum, so you should able to explain this part, right? Okay. uh, First of all, tell me, you have created this new columns. Okay, then create this one, and then after from tomorrow we will start our new project. पण तुम्हाला उद्या काय करायचं आहे? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तुम्हाला मी जे काही सांगितलेलं आहे ते उद्या तुम्ही मला बघून सांगणार आहात, पण तुम्हाला इथं सांगायचं आहे. ठीक आहे, कारण कॉन्फिडन्स तुमचा वाढेल त्याच्यामुळे. ओके. तो उद्या तुम्हाला स्टोरी लिहून आणायची आहे आणि वाचून दाखवायची आहे. हो चालेल. फॉर्म्युला मी याच्यामध्ये पीपीटी मध्ये लिहिलेत ना फॉर्म्युला. पीपीटी मी तुम्हाला कशामुळे म्हणतोय की पहिल्या दिवसापासून मी माझ्या जुन्या बॅचवाल्यांकडून घेऊन घेईन, पण त्याने पण काय केलं, त्यांना मी सांगितलं होतं की मी जसं शिकवलंय तसं सगळे त्यांना फॉर्म्युला लिहून गेले
आणि त्याच्यानंतर त्या फॉर्म्युलाचं मिनिंग केलं की आपल्याला याच्यामध्ये कोणते व्हॅल्यू फिल करायचे. पण मी तुम्हाला पहिल्या दिवसापासून सांगतोय की लिहून घ्या लिहून घ्या. हो फॉर्म्युला लॉजिक तर बेसिकच आहे ना त्याच्यामध्ये.